Hello guys, how are you all doing? So now we're going to see another question of critical reasoning from the past year papers of GMAT. We're given a question here and five options. The question says people's television viewing habits could be monitored by having television sets. So the passage is talking about monitoring the viewing habits of people with sets whereon sent out low-level electromagnetic waves that are reflected back to the sets. So we'll monitor using these waves. The reflected waves could then be analyzed to determine how many persons are within the viewing areas of the sets. All right. So there are two lines. First one is telling us that we'll measure it with the waves, and then the second line explains how we would do that. Now, the next thing is critics fear adverse health effects of such a monitoring system, but a, propon- a proponent responds the average dose of radiation is less than one chest x ray. As they watch, viewers won't feel a thing. So, there are the arguments of two people. Number one are critics who says that this can have adverse health effects. And then in contradiction to it, we have the proponents who says that the average dose of radiation is less than one chest x-ray. So as they watch it, viewers won't realize that the waves are there. So now this average is also a question of ambiguity here, that average of what? All right, so let's move further. What the question is asking: which of the following issues would it be most important to resolve in evaluating the dispute? The dispute is between the critics and the proponents. The proponents are saying that the average is less than one X-ray, and the critics are saying that it would have an adverse health effect. So, what clarity do we need to have so that this issue is resolved? Issues will be most important to resolve in validating the dispute concerning the health effects of proposed system. Okay. So now this is clearly in not in favor of them, and this proponents are saying that the average dose of reaction is less than one chest ray. So if we get a clarity over this average, because we are not able to, with this line we are not able to evaluate if this is harmful or not. So if we get clarity over this, probably that should be the answer. Now let's look at the options one by one. Option A says whether the proposed method of monitoring viewership can distinguish between people and pets. Well, pets is not talked about anywhere in the passage, and distinguishing by the between people and pets is like not relevant. So this is not the answer. Option B says whether radar speed monitors also operate on the principle of analyzing reflected waves of electromagnetic radiation. Um, if this, even if we get the information, even if we come to know if it does or not, the information given would not help us to resolve the dispute in any way. So this is also not the answer. C says whether the proposed system has been tried out in various areas of the country or in a single area only. Okay, whenever we are conducting something new, it's always helpful. This information is always helpful, whether in how much area it has been done already. But even if we come to know about this, would it solve the dispute if it's harmful or not? No, right? So this is also not the answer. Option D says what uses are foreseen for the viewership data. The uses to which the viewership data will be put are unrelated to the question of whether the proposed system will have adverse health effects. So this is also not the answer. Looking at option number 5, it says whether the average dose that the proponent describes is a short-term dose or a lifetime cumulative dose. Now, this statement properly identifies an issue that, if resolved, would help to determine the health effects of the proposed system. What averages are the proponents talking about? If it's about if it's just one time or it's a lifetime thing, then probably we can evaluate if it's harmful or not. So this is the most relevant option, and hence our answer is this last option. Thank you so much.